Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the next episode of the Middleton Nytetime Broadcast, Season 2. Been a little bit.
It's been a while, yeah.
A
hot minute, some would say.
May was unexpectedly busy.
Oh, yeah.
So there was no second episode, but what was going to be the second episode for that month is going to be the first episode for this month. So, obviously you can probably tell from the title, this is just called Changes. Because there's a...
Changes.
I thought you were going to go into the Chia commercial.
Chia.
But I would say I have an icebreaker on the list. I don't really have much of an icebreaker to truly talk about. This last month has just been kind of like work. And
freaking vibe. I agree.
It's been that, and then slowly me getting my weird art spark back, which has been great.
I was dead there for a hot minute.
That's an understatement.
I was like, damn, did Jake just like quit?
There were actually many times during the past 2 months that I was like, should I just quit doing artwork? But I'm like, I went to school for fucking art.
Yeah, that'd be kind of stupid, huh?
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't quit.
So
maybe take a break, but don't quit.
I took a hella break because
it's kind of like me with music, man. Like, I haven't touched my synths until like this week. That's like 2 months. I'm like, oh god, oh.
May just decided to throw the entire kick and caboodle at us, which isn't bad, but what it literally meant was weekends were preoccupied with stuff that we either didn't have planned or they were preoccupied with just complete brain dead. So,
brain rot May.
It was definitely not gonna be May.
Also, happy Pride.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it'll be Pride Month anymore by the time they hear this, but in case, just in case.
It should be. This will probably go out like next week.
Okay.
But
where's the Pride episode? There's a lot more to talk about than our sexuality.
Yeah, that real boy. If you want something like that, I'm sure there's probably many videos.
What more can I say except for we talk about it a lot in every episode. What would be the point of making a whole episode? You know what I mean? Like, I understand like a segment, like how we have. I don't want to spoil nothing here, but internet changes, you know. But that'd be probably it. I don't know what else I could add to that other than we hella queer. Okay, moving along.
I mean, to be fair, it's just like YouTube is probably popping that stuff out it's an algorithm machine right now. So if you really want to watch videos about this,
maybe instead of making one, we could recommend creators we like that are LGBT. I don't know. Well, wasn't that Mac person we watched? I like him.
You know what's funny though? There are so many YouTubers I watch that are probably queer, but I'm like, I don't know. I just don't think about it.
I just don't think it defines people.
When I think of someone, I think of like a definitive episode or like a video game or their comedy style. I don't think of that. Because that gets into like, you know where like people say don't make one thing your entire personality?
Yes.
Being gay
entirely
is something you don't want to make your entire personality.
Some people make it their career. And good for them. I live in Florida, so I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but you know, a lot of hiding myself.
Yeah, and also it's like this year has been kind of iffy for and if you want me to be honest, if you want me to give my like quick and crazy lesson for what this month really stands for, it's not just going out in speedos and bondage and all the kinky stuff. It's not doing that. The history of Pride
it's not about that?
I mean, what's involved?
According to Target and according to corporations, that's what it's about, right? Just like being a hoe?
Oh, I could go on my entire soapbox about that, but I won't.
For the audience that don't know me, I am being sarcastic. That is a joke. I do know the obvious answer.
But it's like, the background and the history of gay people is not for kids.
No, it's tragic. It's the darkest backstory I can think of, other than,
slavery.
Yeah.
But
they had it way worse.
But it's like, this month It's dark this month. Celebrates the people that had to go through the crazier shit. Well, shit's still crazy. It was a lot crazier back then. So, there's not much, and again, Rikki and I aren't like educators on this. So if you really want to do it, trust me, there are tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of videos. I wouldn't even be surprised if your homepage, they have like an entire Pride Month, like, you know how they have sometimes just that line of videos? Pretty sure though.
Like the categories or whatever.
Yeah. So we're not really going to do that, but the thing I wanted to talk about, because it seemed pretty topical for my entire life right now. So I was like, let's bring this up. And we'll talk about changes, which will lead first into internet changes, which is specifically the first thing I want to talk about with internet changes, is how the creator space has changed. A lot of people have been talking about how, like I recently, not to keep quoting this, but I watched the most recent episode of the Brain Leak podcast with Ethan and Sean, and Ethan talked about how he's gotten rid of Crank Gameplay as his channel. So it's no longer Crank Gameplays, it's Ethan Nestor. Because
wait, really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I'm shocked he renamed his channel. Did he rename it or he just made a new one?
No, just renamed it.
Okay. Wow, no more Crank Gameplay.
Because he's not... The problem is they talked about this...
there's probably more to him than just gaming, I assume.
Well, he's getting sick of it just being gaming. And to be frank, Ethan's very smart. If no one has gotten to watch Unis Honest that came out 3 years ago now, Ethan's very good at making like multi-dimensional different genres of content. And you know, back in the day when it was like earlier YouTube, like, you know, I'd say like 2010 to like 14, if you were a gamer channel, you know, you had gamer or games or something half-wit relating to games, because like duh, branding, hey, I'm a gaming channel. But nowadays you don't really need to do that. Like if you have a following or a basis or anything that people know you for, they're not really going to go there just because you're a gaming channel. Like if you know Jack, you're going to go to him because you like him, you like his style. You're not going to go to you're not going to go there and be like, I just want to watch videos, like gaming videos. Some people may, but I know as the creators, Mark, Jack, Ethan now, like after you do gaming content or one specific genre of content for, you know,
years,
it gets draining because it's just like, okay, play video games for a set amount of time, okay, edit it, put it out, next episode, da 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 da. It gets boring. And as someone who's like, just, you know, we just talked about this, has burnout, because I've been doing artwork for almost 13 years now, it gets hard. You experience burnout, and I think that's something that so many people are going through this summer, because, you know, like for me, I look at the internet right now and I'm seeing so many YouTubers screwed over by the algorithm, which is one thing I'm worried about for Ethan's new stuff, is YouTube hates when you don't do one thing on a YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, my friend recently, not to go on a huge tangent, but I guess acquaintance for you would be Gonzo, had to make 4 or 5 different channels, one for shorts, one for gameplay, one for music mashups, and we're sharing a channel for collaborative reacting to spooky stuff videos. But I'm not here to plug that. What my point is, he's diverting all of his content to different channels because it would just perform better, and his main channel is getting attacked, actually. A lot of people are reporting it. They're trying to take it down. And so he realized, because it was a gameplay video, if he just had a channel for gameplay videos, it would just be that channel taken down and not the whole shebang, you know what I mean? It would just be one loss out of 4 channels. And so YouTube actually prefers that now, because we'll just promote your shorts channel. There you go. Oh, we'll just promote your gameplay channel as separate entities versus a all-in-one hub for all content. Like, that doesn't work anymore.
Which is rather shitty, because you wish in a way that you could tailor it, like, how would I say this?
It used to be that way in 2016, 2015. I feel you could do a more diverse thing of content, but I don't. Ever since the gameplay Let's Play Rush, it's just been going into the, I don't know, the current algorithm.
Well, it's funny. Me as I stuck my face on recording. I recently watched a video where Shane talked about AI conspiracy theories and how he got confirmation from someone. I can't remember which app it was off the top of my head, but they actually explained how they made the AI, and now a lot of companies don't know how to control that AI because it's gotten smarter at recommending shit than humans ever could.
Oh yeah.
So now they put out an AI application to run their app, but now it's evolved so much to the point where they're like, fuck it, we can't control anything, so let's just, see what it does.
They can only really moderate it. They can't really tell it what to do. I think it was a social media app.
Yeah.
I forgot which one. It's probably Twitter, knowing our luck.
I was gonna probably say more like Instagram.
Oh, maybe, because of Meta.
Not even Meta, just in general. Instagram was one of the things, before even YouTube, that like had the hardest constructive algorithm ever. Because it had to. Because that's how, shit got moved around on Instagram. So, when it comes to a lot of the internet changes, one of the things I don't like, though, is nowadays, I don't want to say this because this might be a little sticky, but we have a lot of famous people starting to buy applications, which then makes them say, hey, my idea to truly get you to be a real person and show that you are a legitimate creator is buy our Plus subscription service. And I'm like, no, that's not the way to do it.
No, not at all.
That's the way to make an application crash. Now, say la vie, I have Discord Nitro, but that's not doing anything. That gives us just like a few more additives on a pretty enclosed app. And Discord's not really some place that you...
Well, it's not like, oh, well, now my account's being promoted to people with Discord Nitro, and only Nitro users can see these users, like, a certain app.
Versus with, like, I don't think Instagram has a subscription service. Twitter now has Twitter Blue.
Instagram is more focused around, from what I noticed just from using it, is like you'll be scrolling through it and, oh, hey, you want a t-shirt? Here's some t-shirts based on anime. We see you like anime. Oh, you want a brand deal with them? Like, it's more about like products and promoting them and buying stuff you see in videos, but also kind of like TikTok, I think, is what they're going for. But it looks like it's more of an advertisement of, like I said, brand promotion and endorsements versus whatever the fuck Twitter's trying to do.
Well, lovely Mr. Musk has decided that getting people to get Twitter Blue, the idea behind it is supposed to prove some legitimacy. Because getting Twitter Blue gives you now what was back in the day, where if you were a big recognizable figure and they could prove that that page was owned by you, you get Twitter verified. Which means you got, the nice little blue check mark next to your name. But now, that has gotten stripped and put behind a paywall. And Musk was expecting a lot of these big time people to be like, hey, I'm gonna buy into this. No one wants to buy into it because there's no reason. It's kind of like anything. Let's just say this. I don't know if this is true, but let's just say this was the hypothesis. Say you bought Twitter Blue, correct? As like we bought it. Now, imagine if that segregated what people could see. So it's like, say people with Twitter Blue could only see your page name. It's like, that could be a more hurtful thing than it is a good thing. And the other thing was, if you didn't have Twitter Blue, the idea was now the algorithm is not going to push you to people's For You page because you don't have it. Therefore, you're not important, which isn't good because every creator is important. But also, if I'm going to be completely honest, yeah, I might scroll through my timeline But most of the time, like, I go on Twitter and there are like key people I want to see. So I don't think my experience on Twitter would change too much. But it really would be crappy that the people who don't want to pay or can't afford blue get subdued on people's timelines just because they don't want to buy into something that's, in my eyes, stupid.
Yes. You shouldn't censor people for not paying.
Yeah. Because then that hurts creators, which hurts their money, which hurts advertisement revenue, which, you know, it snowballs. And ultimately, a lot of people were seeing, you know, everyone loves making the joke that when Elon Musk bought Twitter, it was going to turn into the Tumblr situation. But people have to remember that the Tumblr situation wasn't necessarily because anyone bought Tumblr. It was because Apple didn't like the crap going on Tumblr, which means they got rid of porn because they couldn't do the right type of what would I say? Basically management, making sure people weren't posting, you know, illegal stuff on it or stuff that, you know, was, you know, CP related.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the thing with Tumblr is it got so big it was hard to moderate that. And so they're like, well, we just got to get rid of it.
And to be frank,
Tumblr, I never planned on it.
Well, Tumblr was great when it lasted. I loved it, even if it was a little funky to navigate at some points. But I will say, I think one of the best things I've ever had is leaving Tumblr, and, you know, my heart goes out for a lot of the not safe for work creators because they're consistently getting kicked off apps, getting their pages taken away.
Newgrounds won't kick you out if anyone needs a place to go. Just saying. Go to Newgrounds.
But I think as someone, you know me, I toe the line.
Mm-hmm. You like to push the limit a bit.
But I'm never
What can I get away with? But I don't want to be too, you know.
Yeah, I don't want to get to the point where one of my pictures gets off.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, being on Instagram's been great. Love making artwork too now. And a lot of them, I feel like I feel like, you know, I make the spicy pieces here and there, but I feel like now, part of me's going for, like, a lot more aesthetic pictures. Like, my characters and, like, you know, clothes that I could never afford, but it's nice to throw them in, like, these cool outfits and live vicariously, see them in, like, I don't know, drawing freaking Danny in, like, Dolce & Gabbana or Gucci or whatever the My World equivalent of it would be. Or, you know, drawing, like, my current picture. I know Ryan doesn't have a shirt on it right now from the picture that I showed you, but I plan to draw him in a blue tank top or some color. And then on it, it's that tank top that says, "Normal people scare me."
Oh my god, that's so fitting for him, though.
And,
Little geeky boy.
Yeah, complete fucking, well, it's fitting for the time, too, because that's, like, the, like, 2000s, like, I'd say, like, late 2000s, early 2010s, like, right before smartphones come out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, like, perfect timing. But, yeah, I don't know. In my total thing, too, I think one of the things that I don't like, too, is this goes now away from internet and creator changes, since we kind of wrap those two together, and this is going to be where the sort of deep discussion is going to happen. And we're going to talk about life.
Oh, no.
Don't worry. I don't think we're going to get into anything too bad. If we do, well, you know, there's the magic of editing. Okay, so I want to talk about something that has gotten really under my skin lately, and I'm noticing it only because I've had so many people struggling with it in my life. So, you know, from a young age, we are told that if you go to school, go to college, get a degree, you get a good job, right?
So we're told, yeah.
So my annoyance is, you know, we go to college and we do all these classes, hours and hours and hours, and to some degree, you know, sacrifice our mental and physical health because sometimes, you know, classes and workload, they don't always work together perfectly. I tell people college is like having multiple jobs at once that don't really communicate and work well together. So, you know, we go through that, we graduate, you know, and the normal thing I feel like for a lot of people that you see in films and movies is like, throw the caps up in the air, party, hooray, we did it, you know? that wasn't what it was like for me. I think I had like a week maybe to like, you know, celebrate. And then it was like application. And, you know, nowadays, I'll get into it after this, but it's like, I'm so mad at the way, I can't really, again, I'm not going to speak for the rest of the world, but strictly in the United States, the job market sucks. Because anywhere you look, it's, hey, we're hiring, hey, we need help. And then really, it's not that. It's, we want underqualified minors to work here for like pennies.
Jackal, yeah.
And if you are overqualified, most likely you're not going to hear from anyone. Now, that's rich to come from, I think, me, because I have a fairly nice paying job, but, you know, I still have to like build myself up the bracket because I'm still making like entry-level position money, which around in my area, by all the calculations, does not, you know, secure me even an apartment yet. So, one of the things that I hate is, you know, we do all this stuff. We do what we're told from a very young age, and we still get screwed over. And this got brought up because I had a friend back when, you know, I originally wanted to do this last month, come to me, and they're like, dude, I'm freaking out. And I said, why are you freaking out? And they said, I feel like I am in a dead-end job. I literally work all day. I go home. I get like 3 or 4 hours to like smoke a blunt and play video games. I can barely hang out with like you or any of my other friends. And all I do is basically work to live and live to work, you know? So
I relate.
Yeah. And it was sad because for me, I do like a 9 to 5 essentially. More like, well, in this case, 8:30 to 5:30 with a hour break. And I was talking to him, and it got to the point where like he was devastated because, granted, he didn't do the college stuff. He didn't go and finish college, but you know, he's smart. He works hard. It's all this stuff. It is so annoying to me that so many people are so many like I think, Rikki, even if you had like an office job, like you did what I did, you would do that ish so fast. But because you don't have because you or because a lot of people don't have a paper showing, hey, I sacrificed thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and hours of my life to professors and teachers with a god complex.
Oh, then I'm not even qualified as far as they're concerned.
Yeah, it gets to the point where I'm like, you know, but I will say to the you know, like genius of some people have bypassed that and have gotten office jobs and stuff like that. And I've said this before, but now people are really taking the thing of, hey, if you don't like working at a McDonald's, or if you don't like working here, get a real job. And now all of us got real jobs, and a lot of people are wondering, where's the dumb people that I can yell at? Because now you have a lot of people who have, you know, we got to the point where no one takes shit from anything. And if you're like a mean customer, you're gonna get told you're a mean customer one way or another. And I say this because I watched a recent video that I was like, oh my god, I need to add this. So it was a dude who was at a cheesecake factory. He was being so belligerent at a bar, just came in already angry, right? So the mood's already thrown off. And he goes and he comes up to the bartender, and the bartender's like, he asks like, get me a beer. Not even a hello, you know, which, you know, when you work in the industry, it's like, great, you don't even say hello to me, I'm not even a human. Great. So he gives him this beer, right? Takes the top off and everything, real professional. Opens the tab for him, right? He's like, this beer tastes like shit, and tosses it in the waiter's face. And you know what the waiter does?
What?
Takes the bottle and bashes the guy in the side of the head.
Oh shit.
And technically it counted as self-defense. The dude still got fired. Didn't get any charges pressed against him though, because technically it was a form of aggravated assault by the dude. But I'm like, people don't realize that if, let's just say there was a law, right? Like, let's just say how there's the thing that went around on TikTok a while, which was called Purge Day, which is basically where, hey, it's International Purge Day, which means I get to match your energy and get to talk to you any way I want. So many customers would get humbled so fast because you don't know the rage of an unbridled minor until you have told them every single derogatory thing in the English language. But yeah, it's getting to the point now where I'm absolutely sick of the US job market because nothing's changing. I talked with one of my coworkers too about this, and I think you'd agree with me on this. So everyone sit back, and I would actually really love to hear your guys' comment about this, because this is where we get into sort of the nitty-gritty discussion.
Oh, okay, I think I'm ready.
So we were talking about this for a while now, and this has been something that's been kind of surfacing at my jaw a lot, because we truly don't see a lot of activities on this day. So we were talking, and this got brought up in a survey that was at my work, and it said, how many people here, and this was an anonymous, thing, so they couldn't see who, voted yes, no on this, etc., etc. They said, how many of you think you would work harder if you had a 4-day work week? Meaning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, get Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. And I said, I would work so much harder if I had a continuous 3-day weekend, because on Fridays, we don't get jack shit from most vendors. And do you know?
So it would be more beneficial just to do that anyway.
Yeah, but because
a little later.
But because the United States, on the topic of change, hasn't changed how the work life has been since the Great Depression, because the 40-hour work week was so people back then could make a living wage. Nowadays, if you paid people more to work less hours, they would be more productive, so we would hope, and they wouldn't be tired all the day, because you get Friday, sure, you get off work, you get to enjoy your afternoon, and there's a weight not on you because you don't have to work the next day. Saturday is kind of the same thing, but you don't have to wake up early to work at all. Sunday, Saturday night and Sunday you get to stay late because it's Sunday, but then Sunday it's like you dread, because it's like, oh, my last full sort of kind of day to relax, and Monday happens, So my question is to everyone, and to you as well, Rikki, would if people got paid slightly more to work a 30-some hour work week, get Friday off, get Saturday off, and get Sunday off, do you think people would still work just as hard, but just for less hours? Because I truly think that
as long as their bills got paid, I feel like people would definitely do that. Because
I don't know.
Because no one's going to do that and then go, oh, well, I can't pay my bills? Well, fuck this,
Mm-hmm.
That's really what it boils down to for me. I mean, obviously everyone wants all the time in the world to be off, but if your bills aren't getting paid, then they're just going to move on to a different job.
Oh, moving on to different jobs. That's something that I want to talk about later. Oh
boy.
But, off the jobs too, mine is the fact that, I know in the back of my mind I still need to, get more money in my budget so that I can, live on my own. But one of the things that has also been kind of weird, and I wanted to talk to you about this because we talked about it before and you weren't able to relate to it just because of how your life has developed up to now.
Mm-hmm.
But remember how we talked about on Telegram over voice message how it's one thing, right, to mentally be prepared to leave your house or move on to the next chapter of your life. It's one thing to say it, right? But it's another thing when you always have to walk the walk. and you have to mentally and physically experience all the different changes that happen to you in life. And
well, yeah, you know, I think I can kind of relate this. I get told all the time, you should move from Florida. You should move. Wow, yeah, never thought of that. Yeah, let me just use all this money that I don't have. I just moved my boyfriend down, so I'm kind of broke. Yeah, I'll just get right on that. Shut up, it's not that easy. But it doesn't matter. You should be broke anyway and just move and start over. Okay, well then you do it. Well, you know, I'm comfortable where I am. Of course you are. That's why you didn't think anything further other than you should do this. Come on, use your brain.
Yeah, because there's
the reason why people stay in shitty situations.
Well, yeah, because there's moving. There is
finding a new job, and also you better hope you have savings for the next 3 months in case you can't get a job right away.
Yeah, my rule of thumb is if you can't pay for 6 months of rent, don't move. Don't quit your job. You know.
I agree.
Now. How should I say this? For me, this is difficult to say without sugarcoating it. So I'll just be blunt. I have, as you know, really hated sort of all the changes that have happened to the house, because
boy howdy have you.
The you know, your house is in a way like a sanctuary, a sort of constant, you know. And I've grown to now appreciate the changes. If pollen wouldn't fuck me up during this recording, but it's also been still foreign. Like, I think I sent you. I forget if I sent you. Let me look on Telegram real fast. Oh yeah, I sent you that picture of my kitchen earlier. So we just got the granite countertops and everything in. So the house is, interior-wise, finished. We're not touching it anymore. Maybe
Good.
like touch-ups of the paint here and there, but we have an entire gallon of the paint that they painted the walls with. And we know the swatch, so if that paint goes bad, we can always get new. But now I've been talking with like my cousin Christian and everything about, if you get the job at my company, do we then together try to start planning to find an apartment and together try to start figuring out a budget, which means like hey, you know, we're not going to be able to buy all these video games. We're not going to be able to do this and that. We're going to have to consolidate subscriptions, and we're going to have to, you know, figure out all of these things, right? So then it's like, it's also, hey, if we get an apartment, we get a 2-bedroom, do we get a 2-bedroom, 1 bath? Do we save money? Do we get a bedroom, like 2 bedrooms, 2 bath? It's literally like the boring adult stuff, but it's stuff that matters so much, because it's like, you know, once you sink your teeth into like a rent situation and a contract, it's not something that you just like so easily want to say like, well, I don't like this, let's pack up and go, you know?
No, you're stuck. You're stuck for about 1.5 years sometimes.
Yeah, and even my sister. My sister hates Virginia. I don't know why, but she's a very opinionated, kind of negative person. We get into a lot of scraps. And she wants to move to motherfucking Georgia. And
Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I told her this. I'm like, do you realize what's going to happen if you move to Georgia? And she's like, yeah, it's going to be so much nicer. We're going to have a house. We're going to be in a neighborhood where like the boys can grow up and play. And I said, yeah, and be alienated from 75% of their family, because no one's going to want to fly down to you in Georgia, because like all of our family is like, you know, like PA, Maryland, West Virginia, all that stuff. No one is going to want to visit you if you are down in Georgia because people, I don't know if you know this, but plane tickets are very expensive.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And
they're usually expensive.
And I also think for like you, for example, I won't say where, but the place that you told me, let's just say you drive there, right? Gotta pack up the car, or U-Haul, or whatever, right? Then you have to you have to do the hours and hours of travel time. How many dollars in gas before you even get there?
Right.
Setting up, and like you said, getting a job, making sure you have the funds. That's a lot of stuff that I'm worrying about, and I don't have knowledge in it because, like, paying taxes and all these bills and rent and stuff, they're these foreign things that until I actually start doing it, it's just this weird thing because, you know, it's not built into my, like, banking app, so it's not automatically paying for it and all this. You know.
It's planning for it, and yeah.
So, it's like, it's one thing to, like, you know, pay rent, to, like, get a check to come to my house so that my mother can cash it and it goes towards the utilities here. It's a whole nother thing when my cousin and I are on our own. We have a landlord. I'm not going to be as apologetic and bearing as, like, my parents. So, you know, it's an entire, like, sort of spiral situation where you can think about it to the point where it gets into, like, you know, I hate saying this, but like morbid fantasy where it's like how many things can go wrong and how many things can go right. So when it comes to
all you can really do is plan and hope for the best in that, though.
Yeah, and I mean,
have a backup plan, of course.
I mean, let's be frank. Like, let's say my cousin, just for all intents and purposes, starts with what I made of a entry-level position, right? So if we took mine, which I'm actually about to get I'm about to hit my 1 year, which is insane already.
Oh wow!
But let's just say when I hit my 1 year and I get mine, that's gonna be, I won't say how much, but let's just say together. Let me think. So probably like the upper 5 digits. Yeah. So like if you took that together around here just for rent, it probably wouldn't be too bad on the rent side of things, but that's just rent.
Yeah, that's only rent.
So then it's like we have to think of utilities. How many things do we actually need? Which primarily is going to be electricity, water, gas, and the internet. So that's 4 things, all separate. And that's, again, just utilities there. Then we also need to think of groceries. My cousin has to think of his dog. My cousin has to also...
Oh, he's a dog? I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Lovely dog. She's built like a barrel, though, and she will hurl herself at you like a fucking cannonball.
Big puppy.
No, she is what is called an Entlebucher mountain dog. They're the small mountain dogs, because there's the Entlebuchers, there's the Burmese, and then there's the Swiss mountain dogs. She's tiny. She's just kind of chubba a little bit.
Oh, she's chonky.
Yeah, she a little chonk. But yeah, I don't know. I think I've also talked to you about this too, where I'm trying to say this without giving, like, you know, private stuff away. A part of me too is wondering, I guess I hate using this as a crux, right? But I think it is literally an ADHD thing where we don't like change. Or, sorry, that's not true. We don't like big change. So the problem is, like, imagine this, right? Like, I'm in my neighborhood. I have a place I've been for 25 years. Everything is familiar. I know where everything is. And, you know, it's what my brain and heart call home, right? Now, think about this. Get an apartment, right? New layout, everything looks different. It kind of feels more like you're renting an Airbnb rather than your home. So the inevitability of me having to do that too is weird. And I think it will be lesser, once I decorate my room, within the parameters of what's allowed with the apartment. And, I get used to living with my cousin. My cousin's dog gets used to seeing me, so she doesn't bark for 8 hours. And I get used to the area. But is that ever something like you worry about? Like, let's just say hypothetically, you were to move to the state that you moved to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever have that thought like I have, where it's just like, oh man, this is a new area. I'm not gonna know where anything is. It's gonna feel real foreign and stuff. Or do you look at it as an exciting thing?
It's a bit of both, because yes, it's gonna be a new area. Yeah, I'm gonna get lost, but I know there's probably new places that I didn't have here, a small town that maybe this bigger town might have, or maybe it's another small town and it's just relearning, where things are, stuff like that. I think after like a year of it, it'd be normal, but I could definitely see the intimidation part where it's like, oh shit, I've never been out of my element. Here I am, just totally like, I don't want to say culture shock, but you're just totally in a different area, out of your element. But
in the Taco Bell, you'll be home.
Right, that's basically it. Find your favorite grocery store, find your favorite fast food place, find this and that, and eventually it starts kind of clicking of like, okay, I could get used to this. So it's not even just, find your home, it's also like make sure the area has the things that you want,
Yeah. One of the things that I am happy about is, for a fair degree, I'm in a relatively safe area, like the counties and the counties around me, right? So I'm not really worried about any break-ins. I'm not really worried about that stuff. Never. And if I was, it's the crazy people in the United States that make things real fun on the news right now that, no one can account for. So I think at the end of the day, I'm just kind of, this probably doesn't sound very good because it doesn't sound very strategic. But I think a lot of times you, as an adult, when you're not in college and you're not in school and you don't have a clear set schedule, it's playing things by ear. Always, it feels like. I remember, what was it? When we first did the one version of this that we deleted that one episode before the pandemic.
Are you recording my audio too, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I just started recording halfway through and wanted to make sure.
Oh, you good, fam? I got you.
Okay, good. I was like, oh god.
But I think one of the things that when we got rid of that old episode and we started, this last seasons for this, one of the things that I think was interesting too was on some fun life changes as we go into the cooldown for this. Sure, I'm scared, right, of inevitably having to leave my childhood home and being on my own, so to speak. Though, if things go as planned, I'll have my cousin with me, and him and I jive. It's all good. I think one of the things that I thank you and I think a lot of people for is having the brunt, having the wall to be like, no, you're wrong. Being able to tell people they're wrong, and if you have to get in a tiff about it or whatever, and leave a call, come back after y'all have had to mull it over on your own terms. I think that's been so good for me, because I think one of the life changes that I've needed so much is the perspective to tell a young and brash and sometimes person that thinks he's always perfect but isn't always perfect person, you still got some shit to work on, or you need to mature your perspective. Because when you go out into life, you really got to think about a lot of things. And I remember I I won't lie, if I'll be open about this, I had the perspective that, you know, I had to be like Democrat 100%, you know? I had the mindset of I don't want anyone's feelings to get hurt. I had the mindset of I want to try to please everyone. And all of those were not good things to have. Because I'll admit, y'all, if you want my political view, I am a lovely purple. Think of that what you will. I fluctuate.
Purple. What's purple stand for? Is that libertarian?
No, that just means you're a independent voter. So your values align to the different people that run for office and align with what you sort of want, you know?
Oh, okay.
So it's like 1 year they could vote red, 1 year they could vote blue, 1 year they could vote green, you know? It's just, you know, with the two parties that we have that are the most popular, they call it purple just because, you know, you're in between. And, you know, that fluctuates as well. But, you know, I'm that. And nowadays, I'm not afraid to kind of tell people, it's like, hey, you're being real stupid. Or you're being a dick. I think that...
It comes from a place for me where it's just like, I wish people would have told me instead of letting me waste my time for a long-ass, like, time period, you know what I mean?
Well,
I wish someone was there to be like, don't even bother with that. Just, you know, focus on this. It's like, oh, okay, thanks.
Well, it's kind of like what I told you a few days ago, where I was telling you, like, I love all the projects that you do, but how many of them have gotten finished?
And that's just that. I'm very guilty of project hopping. Like, I want to learn new things. I feel like this is my flaw. Like, I want to learn some coding here and there. I want to learn how to draw. I want to learn to make music. Well, realistically, I'm only going to be good at one of those things and be kind of okay at the others, so I should probably put a lot of effort into the main thing, and then these other things are kind of just for fun or side projects when I have time.
I mean, I applaud you on that, because, you know, being a jack of all trades, like, what's the saying? It's like...
Master of none.
Yeah, master of none, but being a master of none is being better than a master of one. But in a project, you know, like, let's just say, like, you're like the sort of the game idea that, like, you and Mars always want to do, right? Sadly, that is something where each person would sort of have to be a team. Where, like, you'd have to be audio, music, SFX. Mars would have to be the modeler. You would need someone that could rig a model and do animation, you know, because you need a team.
Which is our idea. We would love that, but I feel like a team of just friends isn't the way to go. Like, we need people with actual experience. So, like, I think that's why we paused on those ideas too.
Oh no, and even I said that. It's like, I think everyone in, like, our circle is great. They are very good at what they do. Mars has made some kick-ass models.
Amazing shit, and he's still getting better.
But it's like there's no consistency, because unlike a gaming company which devotes all their time and effort and concepts and, like, team energy into, like, 1 or 2 projects in a developmental cycle, you have people in different time zones, you have people with different jobs, you have this and that, so many conflicting factors, versus a constant that it's like, hey, we're Sucker Punch Productions. Hey, we're Santa Monica making God of War. You know, it goes to that degree. It's like, there's no team. So it's like, the sort of idea that I think a lot of people have, especially, like, even for you, which again, I applaud you for this, is like, I have learned that I can do 2 things right now. That is make art now semi-consistently, and this podcast. With this format, because this works and it doesn't overclock anything. And it's not overclocking me with my current job that we have, right? So, it's one of those things where I'm like, like, you know, to go back to what we were saying, it's like, it's really good to sometimes have people be like, hey, you need to slow down or rethink or figure out. I think, because what was the conversation we had between the last episode and this one? I think it was like you devoting, like where you need to devote your energy to. I think that was what we had. And, you know, figuring out where to devote your energy, I think is so important because, like, Rikki, you do this a lot, and while I love you, guys, if I want to tell you anything, Rikki, they have a thing of overextending themselves.
Yes. Oh, for sure. I do it at work, and then I try to do it when I get home, and then I get flustered and whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's just too, I don't know, mentally it's too much, and I keep thinking I'm younger and I can keep doing it, but the older I get, I'm realizing I need to really hone in on what I want all my attention to be on.
I'm happy that at least one of those things that you've done to honing your energy on is your live streams. Because I can at least tell...
I love doing those. Yeah.
And I think that's so nice because, like, I can tell you enjoy that. And there's, like, nothing there versus, like, I don't mean to bring this up, but it's, like, older projects with some people that weren't making things your life so easy and weren't giving the same kind of devotion.
It kind of feels like, I don't want to say wasted time because I learned a lot of stuff from older projects, but, you know, you feel kind of stuck. Like, I could be doing other stuff.
Yeah, like you could devote your time to, like, doing artwork or making music or doing live streams yourself, which, again, I think ever since you've sort of done the pseudo solo stuff has been, I think, a lot more enjoyable for you, less stressful, less meh, you know?
Relying too much on collaborative projects versus trying to go solo, I think is the best way to put it.
And it's like, this is the only collaborative projects that I have. And with you, I don't mind. Like, if things are inconsistent and all that stuff, because I understand, like, May, was a lot. You and I
May was a whole ass. Yeah, May was a bitch.
May said, "Hi, bitch. I'm gonna throw everything at you, and I'm gonna burn you out." And believe me, I am. I'm burnt out work-wise. But I think that's only because I just got a new thing added to me, and I'm just not used to doing it, which is called call campaigning, which is just, I get these lists of people, and it's like, ding. Okay, they didn't pick up. Hit a button for voicemail. It leaves an automated voicemail message I already recorded, and it's like, no, put notes in, next person, you know? It's a little bit of tedium, and I'm still trying to find, like, what is the best thing. And there are some days where I won't do it, like if we're pretty busy quote side, but you know. But I did want to tell people this because I think this is really fun. So on the topic of, like, cooling down for the last few minutes of the podcast, we've already been going for 53 minutes. I guess I will try to devote a cool down to some Pride stuff, just to give you guys a little sprinkle of stuff.
Little Pride moment.
For me, I don't celebrate. June doesn't really mean much to me, but it's because, again, I don't, you know, I don't put myself in that stuff. But maybe it's also just because I like to live, like, you know, I love to live so much. As if I was, like, one of those hipster people that's, like, in an apartment. I got, like, that, like, little, like, book nook area that I could sit in, like, a beanbag chair, look down at the road, and, like, play on my phone. That's, like, my life.
I like that.
Versus, like, I got some people in my life that, like, every weekend, like, they love doing, like, they love hitting the bong, they love partying, they love getting high all the time, they, like, just drinking all the time. It's like, and, you know, I'm happy. If you like the party life, go for it. But I really feel like I look at Pride and I always see loud stuff. So I don't think I personally do it. But I was like, for you, Rikki, do you celebrate anything with it, or is it more like acknowledgement?
You know, maybe online with some friends, but in, you know, real life, it's like Who am I gonna celebrate it with? The conservative people that like want me dead that I work with on the daily at every job everywhere I go, or like who's gonna really care? You know what I mean? Like these people that are in the state, like they care more about Veterans Day and other holidays versus Pride Month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They care more about Chick-fil-A going woke than they do. I don't know.
Oh my god,
it's not a good place.
Imagine this is a bad joke. Chick-fil-A's signage and symbol turns blue.
Oh.
It's like, oh no. Oh no.
That feels so wrong.
Chick-fil-A's gone gay.
Just a blue Chick-fil-A though.
I mean, let's be honest. That chicken at Chick-fil-A is kind of gay. It's the sweetest chicken I think I've ever tasted. That most fruity chicken.
It's not the best chicken. I mean, I've had better chicken. I've been to Popeyes once or twice. It's very... I don't know. I get why people like it because they probably prefer peanut oil over regular frying oil. I think it's a big part of it. They just don't like a lot of grease, but I don't know.
I am in McDonald's.
I'm a Taco Bell slut. I don't give a fuck what anyone says.
Oh,
I love Taco Bell.
I am a slut for Taco Bell. But if you want chicken, my butt is going either to McDonald's and getting that spicy chicken sandwich, or I'm going to Wendy's.
Oh, Wendy's, yeah.
And I'm letting that girl step on me for like 5 hours while I dag them for like the baddest chicken sandwich.
See, usually I just eat there. Interesting.
Oh no, I go to Wendy's after dark.
Oh. She roasts you in the restaurant.
She roasts me. She calls me all the derogatory terms.
Oh my god, Jake.
Hey, I mean, you don't know what her and I do after hours in the parking lot.
Gawk 3000 at Wendy's, Jake? Chill.
Only 3,000? You're back on the old model, man. I'm on the 10,000.
Shut the fuck up.
But
old model.
But I will say this to wrap up this like more I'd say chill episode. The next episode will actually be kind of cool because we're going to be talking about summer. Just sort of romanticized stuff about summer, but I also have a lot of stuff that I absolutely do love about summer, minus the fact that I sweat my balls off every summer. So next episode is going to be about summer, and it's gonna be another throwback to 90s and 2000s stuff. So if you guys like a little bit of nostalgia, get ready for that, because we're going to be talking about like going to the pool. We're going to be talking about like
Capri Suns.
Yeah, chilling in the sun, ice cream trucks coming up and getting those like SpongeBob and Spider-Man ice creams with the gumdrop eyes and all that stuff. We're going to be talking about it all. So, stay tuned. If June doesn't decide to be a dick to Rikki and I, we might be able to record again this month. If it is a dick to us, well, you'll still get a summer episode because summer's going on.
You'll know what happens if there's one less episode.
It means that June decided to bend us over and do unholy things to us.
June takes off its mask. Wendy from Wendy's.
She like rips off her Wendy's outfit, and underneath it just full on like leather dominatrix outfit.
Oh my god.
She would though.
She would.
But anyway, guys, we're gonna go. I'm going to probably grab more pizza because I've been eating this entire episode. I'm still hungry. And we will see you guys hopefully later this month with the summer episode. And then after that, would you believe me if I said that after the episode that I have for July, the first one has to do with weed?
The 420 episode?
Or wait, Pat. It's gonna be more like the 0720 episode.
Nah, technicalities.
Technicality, it's still a 20 day.
Yeah. Every day can be 420. If you're brave enough.
I was gonna try to make an LMFAO joke about weed and I couldn't think of it fast enough.
Every day I'm smoking it. I get high.
I get high. Oh god, they probably were high, let's be honest.
Oh, all the time. All the time.
But okay guys, we're gonna go. If you like this episode of the Middleton Nighttime Broadcast, please hit all the lovely buttons down below. Ricky's links are down below as well, and hit the link to his channel will be at the end of this video. Please go over, subscribe, so whenever Ricky goes live or posts anything, you'll know. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.